Let's get to the most I want to say pressing matter, but it's really not in the world of, civil unrest, pandemics, and economic catastrophes. But it is a pressing matter, and it is something people have a lot of interest in, and it is something that everybody's kind of talking about this week, and it does affect L.A., and it is serious, and it is something that I want to talk about, and it's something I've talked about before on this show, and that it is that Ocean Prime is back open, the Steakhouse Ocean Prime, which has a lot of good seafood, and it's in Beverly Hills. And I think that it's back open on the patio now. They do have inside dining, but they're encouraging people to go on the patio. And I think that's important. It's important that people go back out on the patio and be careful, but also enjoy yourself. Ocean Prime is also, of course, offering curbside to go. I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. Of course, story I'm talking about is a lot of people are trying to recall Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. And people said to me, where are you on this? And, he's decent looking and he's done it fair, whatever. He's a little drunk on his own power, but who isn't, I was watching this. There's a show on Netflix called You. Have you seen this? Why are you laughing? Have you seen this show on Netflix?
I have, yeah.
Called You?
I saw both seasons, yeah.
It's the guy from Gossip Girl, Penn Badgley? I don't know how to say his name. And he plays a serial killer. And the first episode is in Brooklyn. The first season is in Brooklyn. And the second season is in Los Angeles, California. And I was watching this show. And this show is very fun to watch. I mean, it is. It's not fun to live, I imagine, but it is fun to watch. I mean, it is a very watchable show. It's a very watchable show. And you know who's in it? You know who's in the show? Comedian. Do you know who's in the show?
Is it Chris D'Elia?
No, it's comedian Zach Cherry. Can you Google Zach Cherry? Google Zach Cherry. Chris is in it as well. Google Zach. This is the big guy, comedian Zach Cherry.
Oh, that guy.
You know Zach. He's in a lot. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
But he's a fun man. Chris is in it as well. What does Chris play in the show?
A pedophile?
Well, he plays a comedian who is into an underage girl. Here's the thing, folks. He plays a character named Henderson. I've spoken to Chris D'Elia about 3 times in my life. They've all been at a comedy store, and he's been very pleasant to me. Now, that is not a defense, and that is not me trying to qualify anything I'm going to say here. But I will say that Chris has been very kind to me, and he's said that I'm very funny, and that does count a little bit. It doesn't excuse what is shaping up to be some very disturbing allegations, but he's always been very nice to me. Chris is one of those guys who's like a real famous comedian. Like when you look at his Instagram, it's like Machine Gun Kelly would comment. He did the thing with Eminem. He's like the LA comic, right? He's like Bieber's favorite comic, right? Like Bieber would go to the store, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's everything in comedy that like I am not that. Mm-hmm. Like I am not like the guy that's cool who has a fan base that's cool. You know what I mean? Like the last person to retweet something I did who was really big was Candace Owens. So let's just, I'm like not a cool comic, and Chris is a cool comic. Mm-hmm. Not that has done uncool things, but I mean but he's very sweet to me. Listen, everybody knew the dude got laid. We just knew he got laid because his fan base was women. Women would attack him in the hall of the Comedy Store. They would run up to him. I'm not saying that they are, but I'm saying from my own eyes, I would see like women go up to him, and like he was like, women don't come up to me after the set and go, "Oh my God, I love you so much. I've loved you forever. Thank God. I saw you on InfoWars with my girlfriend. You're so hot. Your tits are so hot. I saw you on InfoWars. You're so hot." That doesn't really happen. Like, that's not the type of comic I am. Sadly, it would be nice if I was like, pulling up in the hot car. I usually get out of an Uber. It's usually a frustrated Asian man because I don't know if the minivan doors automatic. If they're all automatic, then why even have a hit? But listen, if you're just fucking a lot of chicks that are of age and they're mad at you, it's on them, right? I mean, listen, women have agency. Women are smart. Women can make choices. Now, if those women are underage, that's a serious problem. It's a legal problem. It's a moral problem. It's an ethical problem. And I imagine if more of that comes out, it's going to be dealt with in a court, which is where, unfortunately, should be dealt with because that is criminal activity. If you're 19 and you're mad because, the guy whose hotel room you went to at 3 a.m. turned out not to be a gentleman, this is a learning experience for all involved. But if you're underage and you're messaged, that is fucking not right, and that'll be dealt with in a court of law, I would imagine. Or, it's also dealt with in the court of public opinion where people go, somebody who's doing that is just not somebody that people want to do business with anymore or establish a friendship with. I hope that stuff isn't true. But, when I was on keto, I hoped that would work. Do you see what I mean? Obama used to say hope is a powerful thing. Not really. It's not that powerful. Facts, gravity, immutable laws, those things occasionally fly in the face of hope. So I hope that there is no truth to the allegations that he was messaging underage girls. Now, it does seem that, sadly, my hope is not going to stand up against. And by the way, I hope that for everyone involved. I hope it for the girls. I hope it for him. I hope that, that's not going on. Am I going to get a better spot at the store because he won't be there? Let's be honest, yes. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the week ain't over. It might not be. A few people don't be there. But I'm kidding. It's a comedy show. We're doing a comedy podcast, and I wish everyone well. Here's the reality. It's a bad situation for a lot of people that knew him, that are very disappointed and disgusted. And, there's a lot of I bet that guy sadly has a lot of demons, a lot of things that he's fighting, and the whole thing's bad. Whole thing is no good. No good. But everything I'm involved in is destroyed. I got into subprime mortgages. We had a recession. Adam McKay was producing a show of mine, and then he dissolved his company with Will Ferrell, Gary Sanchez. Anthony Bourdain's company was producing my travelogue with Comedy Central, and he hung himself in a room several days later. My agent, who signed me in 2016, is no longer working at the agency that signed me. I mean, I tend to get into the party as the party is breaking up. I tend to arrive at the party as the cop cars are being seen through the window, and this is maybe literally now, But that's when I get to the party, and that's unfortunate. So if I walk in, I mean, it's countdown till something's going to go down, and it's not going to be good. So, again, I feel for the victims of this, like the women that were messaged and were made to feel uncomfortable, that were underage. That is illegal and that is wrong. I do not feel for the comedians who are complaining that they don't get better spots. I think it's a little disgusting to try to weave your own personal narrative into this and your own gripes and your problems. Chris killed, whether you like his comedy or not, Chris killed. He killed harder at the store than anyone I've ever seen. I mean, he earned his spots at the Comedy Store. He had theaters of thousands of people coming to see him. I mean, whether you liked his comedy or not, it doesn't matter. People did, and they came to see him, and he made money. So the comics that are out there now, and they did this with Louis, they did this with everybody. They come out, that guy sucks. He sucks. He's not even good at comedy like me. He's not good at comedy like me. All right, man, get online. Create your own shit then, and just fucking stop whining, But, I mean, this is Thursday night, early Friday morning. More may come out. May come out. I would imagine that this rocks things a little bit here in this town. I've only been here a year. It seems like it may be time to start thinking about pizza again in the Hudson River. If we could get de Blasio out of there. Get the COVID out and the de Blasio out, maybe I'll waltz back. I think Rogan's teasing that he's moving to another state. Chris seems unfocused at the moment because he'd be the next biggest act. So I don't know what's going to happen out here, but see me, here's me. There he goes. See him? Just one taco, one last taco.
Yeah.
I feel bad for, the women that were affected. I mean, this is shitty, and I don't know facts. This is the other thing. I've not done a deep dive on the facts. Doesn't mean I'm doubting people or not believing them. I'm saying I have not personally looked into this at all. Have you looked at any of the facts, really?
I mean, facts. I mean, I guess anything could be photoshopped, right? I mean, these are just screenshots. I mean, the idea that all these people are coming together and photoshopping a bunch of things seems to be...
You think it's the Russians? Do you think it's the Russians?
It's Russian bots.
Do you think it's the Chinese? It would be, and I'm not saying that he should do this, but it would be beyond funny if he came out and said this was Russia.
Yeah.
Like if he came out and he said, first they installed Donald Trump the puppet. Then they manufacture a bunch of screenshots and take me down. God damn them. The Russians. Putin. Fuck you, Putin. I don't want to laugh. Folks, I don't want to laugh because people are getting angry with me for laughing. And they're going to go, I know it's a serious situation, but I deal with serious situations with humor. It's, I just have to laugh. But it's, wherever it goes, it goes. I don't know what to tell you, it probably was not Russia. I don't know.
Or China.
Yeah, I imagine it wasn't China.
I mean, it seems legit.
It's unfortunate that this is happening. There's so much good news in the country. By the way, this is like the entertainment news.
Right.
The news is so bad now they're like, this is entertainment news, They're like, and in the entertainment corner, this is the fluff.
Right.
This is the lighthearted fluff news that you get. If he was doing that, it's so weird to take that role on that show, You, on Netflix. It's very strange to take that role. Can you imagine, like, taking that role if you were doing that?
Like as if to say, how could I be doing this if I did take this role?
Yeah. Can you imagine that? You have the script and you're like, Jesus. Jesus, this is good. But that's kind of what we're going to say about that. There's no new facts about it yet. And, we're going to withhold. I'm not the judge and the jury. But I am someone in the courtroom sitting around eating potato chips who's going to talk shit after the trial and be like, what do you think about it? So that's what I'm doing. I don't know the facts. I haven't done a deep dive. The facts are disturbing that are coming out, and that's where I'll leave it. A lot bigger people are going to have something to say about this. I'm sure people that knew him well, celebs and friends and whatever, I don't know. It's like, what do you think the implications are about this? Why don't you make a statement? Why do I make a fucking statement?
I have to make a statement.
Why don't you make a statement? Where's Jamie Vernon on this? Where's all the other producers? You guys fucking sit and listen to everything everybody says, and then you don't have to have a goddamn statement. We all got to come out with statements. You're in the fucking room for everything that we all say, and nobody says anything, huh?
So you want me to have a take on it?
Well, what's your statement? What's your take?
My take is that it's bad to be a pedophile.
That's it. But he's not a pedophile.
A phebophile. It's bad to be a phebophile.
Get the word up, please. Now, I'm not going to correct people on Twitter. It seems like an odd hill to die on. I think Neil Brennan was doing it. Neil Brennan was like in the middle of the night being like, it's a hebephile. I just woke up. I looked at my phone. I'm like, God, what's this guy doing? Neil, put your phone down. The fuck are you doing? It's actually a hebephile. Hey, Neil, go to bed. A hebephilia is a primary sexual interest in mid to late adolescence, generally ages 15 to 19. It is one of a number of sexual preferences across age groups, subsumed under the technical term chronophilia. I don't know what that means. What is a hebephile? Is that somebody who likes Jews? A hebephile is what's a hebephile? It's just somebody that likes Jews. Somebody who's attracted to men in large hats with beards who own projects in Brooklyn. People attracted to people. I'm attracted to men with beards who own low-income housing in Williamsburg. What are you? Oh, you're a hebephile. I don't know. Okay, well, listen, there you have it, folks. I mean, that's Ben's fucking statement, nice and simple. Is it all over the news? It's all over the news, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you type in his name into Twitter, it seems like there's still like 20 tweets a minute, I'd say, and there's still news articles about it, so it's up there. But, he was trending at the same time that World War III was trending, so,
Right.
There's just so much going on.
There's a lot going on. Here I go. I grab the burrito. There it goes. Delta.
Is that you going up the plane?
Yes.
Walking up the plane?
As I leave, Los Angeles just gets bombed by China. I just wave. I land in New York. I just put a pizza. I just take a bite of pizza, and I'm like, it's New York. You know, what are you going to do? Well, all right, everybody. We're going to continue to record the rest of the episode tomorrow. I felt like I should address this tonight. And, maybe tomorrow everything I said will be... What if they start finding bodies, you know? What if they find like 10 bodies?
Well, we just won't put this out then.
No, we will. What if they find 10 bodies? I'm sitting there, like tomorrow I have to come in like this. I'm like, what if Andrew Santino kills his wife tonight? I got to come in and I got to be like, Tony Hinchcliffe gets drunk. He kills a family of 4 on the 405. I'm like, Whitney Cumming bludgeons her dog to death. I'm like, I have to make 4 statements. Today. Data shows that adults 18 and up have surpassed kids ages 3 to 5 to become the biggest customer demographic for the toy industry. I'm going to say that again because some of you might be going, wait a minute, hold on. I'm driving in my car. Maybe you're on a sloped roof and you're just trying to stabilize yourself. So let me say it again. Data shows that adults 18 and up have surpassed children ages 3 to 5 to become the biggest customer demographic for the toy industry. The so-called kidulting trend, God help us, is bringing these grown-ups back to the toy aisle. From Funko Pops to action figures to comic books. Management at Collectors Marketplace says that the bottom line is that nostalgia sells. During the pandemic, a lot of adults were searching for normalcy and found some of it in memories from their youth. It created a boom in toy and collectible sales. It definitely has been riding a lot on nostalgia, and I feel like in the middle of COVID, it gave people the opportunity to explore that area. So what items are selling out to these kidults? Ooh. It definitely depends on what's hot at the moment. Like Spider-Man just around the corner. We're going to have Deadpool and Wolverines. We've already noticed there's an increase in those. A lot of Final Fantasy video game stuff is super popular. Comic books, really mostly in a bunch of anime. Stores like the Collectors Market see a wide range of what people will pay. So here's what, as life becomes unbearable in terms of what's happening around you, traumatic. People see people getting shot in the ear and head. There's bullets that are whizzing by, and people are kind of normalizing it. Well, it's political violence. It's like the Secret Service takes a knee and lets the president get whacked or attempt to get whacked. As stuff like this happens, instead of confronting the deep problems in the country, we have adults playing with Spider-Man figurines in their house. It's what's happening. I mean, this is the news. I'm not making this up. Instead of confronting the fact that we have a very, very, very big problem on our hands, many of them, adults are now buying Spider-Man outfits and putting them on in their house. While their 3- and 5-year-old children, I guess, watch them and go, Dad, can I play with the toy? And we go, not yet. This is not the best way to handle what's happening out there. And I understand that what's happening is traumatic. It is a little weird when the one president can't talk and has dementia, and the other one is Donald Trump, and they're trying to kill him. It is strange. It doesn't fill you with a great feeling. It doesn't fill you with a lot of hope for the country. It's actually quite traumatic, to be honest. You're going, what's happening out there? But the response to this cannot be Wolverine. Folks, I'm asking you nicely now. I'm asking you nicely now to put it down. Put the figurines down. Take the costume off, please. We are dealing with deadly forces trying to exterminate each other and destroy the country. Is there a way we can all face this horrible reality that we've all created? Can we face it without fucking, Green Lantern? Can we face it without the Hulk? Can we do it? Please. Because I'm telling you right now, nothing good is to come of this trend. Nostalgia is supposed to be a fleeting thing. Nostalgia is supposed to be so quick. It's like deja vu. Deja vu is you walk into a place, you go, have I been here before? And then immediately you go, who cares? And you have fondue or whatever. I don't know, but that's what deja vu is. It's a haunting thought for a few seconds, fleeting in your head, out of it. It's not something you prattle on about for hours. That's the same thing with nostalgia. You think back on the 80s, you go, oh, the fucking 80s, Coca-Cola, cigs, fucking Convert, whatever it is, whatever it was to you, crack, whatever the 80s was to you. Quick, in and out. Man, nostalgia. And then you move on quickly. It is deeply unhealthy to cocoon yourself in your childhood, especially during, some intelligence war. I mean, this is just not good. And this is the whole thing now. It's celebrated. This is all celebrated. Celebrated is like a cool thing. Adults becoming children. And then on the other hand, we have children becoming adults. So Gavin Newsom now just signed a law that your math teacher is allowed to cut your dick off, I think, and not tell your parents. As long as they put your dick in a bag and give it to you. This is sick. This is the law. Your math teacher is allowed to perform sexual reassignment surgery on the child. They put the penis in a bag. They give it to the child. They put the name on the bag. And then they give it to and they don't have to tell the parent. So the parent goes, where's your penis? And the kid goes, it's in a bag. Well, who put it in a bag? Mr. Morrison. He cut it off and he put it in a bag. My name is Star now and I have a pussy. And you're like, God damn it, what am I dealing with as a parent? My kid went to school, a boy, and then his math teacher cut off his dick, put it in a bag, and sent him home with it. This is insane. And you got to tell your husband that? Hello, Bob. Bob, can you hear me? Bob, listen. Jake is home. His penis is in a bag. His math teacher cut it off at school. They did reassignment surgery on him, Bob, and his dick's in a bag. And he wants me to call him Janine. So when you get done with work, why don't you come and talk to your son and you can see the cock in his bag? I'm just saying. I feel for the parents here. No, what this law is that if your child is a tranny bunbani, and which is there's nothing wrong with, I don't care about people being trans. I just have always requested this. When you are a child, that you be left alone and allowed to form your own identity without adults meddling in your life and without people suggesting medical interventions, pills, surgery, things like that. It's completely insane. A lot of these kids will not end up being trans. Some of them will, some of them will not. A lot of them will be gay. Some of them will be lesbian. Some of them will have other experiences and find other things. I don't know. Some of them may be unicorns. I don't know. And isn't that nice? It's so rare. What I'm saying is that I don't think there's I've never heard a good explanation as to why a 9-year-old should have a sexual, medically transition, or why somebody should delay puberty. The Tavistock Clinic in Britain ran this experiment. It failed. They shut down all sexual reassignment surgery for minors in that country. Britain's not a psychopathic right-wing country. They ran an experiment, and it ruined a lot of kids' lives. And they found out that, yes, you can be too young to make permanent medical decisions about your sex and gender. There is a reality in which children need to be children. Teenagers need to be teenagers. I'm just saying this new thing that we're all doing, where like we have to judge the spending of people. Like, you're gonna bomb them and kill them. So what does it matter what they have? What does it matter what they have? By the way, it's crazy. Do you know one of them had a Rolex? What is this Where is this now going? We're auditing Hamas? Well, they don't spend the money. They're not spending the money in the right way. What is this? What are we doing? You killed both, aren't they all dead? You're killing everyone over there. I mean, I just don't understand. It's like it's a very strange thing that like the last couple of days and weeks I've seen like this weird, strange, well, can you believe what they spend their money on over there? What? Wait, what? Wait, I don't understand. Oh, so that's why they're bad. What about the whole October set? You had me sold that they weren't great with the whole what they did on October 7th. It doesn't matter that they have a Birkin. It certainly doesn't matter that they have a Birkin bag. That's not the issue. If you're going to say that they should be spending their money and not living in the lap of luxury and helping their people, you could make that case against most leaders in the world, including people that live in this country. You could easily make that case to a lot of people here. It's like this thing they did. Remember they did this, who was the guy that in Russia, Navalny? Navalny made that. You know, I've had friends say to me, these are smart people. The corruption, they say this. They say this with a straight face. They say it with a straight face. They go, we're having dinner, a little dinner. I'm usually having a protein and salad, little dinner. A lot of them are doing other things. And I go, listen, they go, the corruption in Russia is insane. I go, do tell. And they go, you got to see Navalny. He did these YouTube videos about all of the houses that all the government officials own. I said, wow, that sounds crazy. Get in the car. Get in the car. I'll leave the money for the bill. Get in the car. I'm Navalny, and we're going on a tour. I know. It's in the nuts. So you're telling me Putin's cronies will have big houses? Get in the car. Get in the car. I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to blow your mind. We have a lot of beautiful homes here, and you're never going to guess who owns them. So what I mean to say is I'm not drawing them all. Oh, you're doing moral equivalency? Is that what you're doing? You're doing moral equivalency, so you're saying that we're Hamas. That's what you're saying. Do you know what would happen to you if you lived in Gaza? Yeah, I'd be in Hamas, and I'd be good at it. No. No. Do you know what would happen to gay people in Gaza? Do you know what happens to gay people? I don't know. I don't go there. I'm sorry. Do you know what happening? I'm not saying Hamas is good or this is a good way to govern. I'm saying if you want to make this an argument about that they're irresponsible with the funds, that to me does not seem to be the argument. The argument is they committed an act of war and aggression against people. That's the argument. Say that ends there. Now, is the response proportionate? Not exactly. Not exactly. But that's the argument. They committed an act of violent aggression and war. It's true. The argument is not this bitch has got a Birkin and this one's got a Rolex and this one's got a fucking Hermes scarf. That's not it. That's not it. The argument is not Putin's cronies have big, has a Dasha and Sochi. It's not the argument. It's not the argument. Dummies. If you want to go to war with Russia, great. There's probably lots of reasons in your head you can justify going to war with any country. You make it up. Iran. There's a big threat to America. It's Iran. This is the big thing now. Iran. We got to do something about Iran. What? Russia's more of a threat than Iran, and they're not a threat. Well, Iran says death to America all the time. Everyone says death to everyone. It doesn't matter. What are they going to do? What is Iran going to do? Invade America? Is that what you see happening? Iran has just landed in Colorado. The slopes are closed. Like, can we get serious here? We have a dearth of serious people in the country. Can anyone be serious for minutes? I'm not asking for an hour. Minutes. She's got a Birkin bag. It's $32,000. Shouldn't they have built a water treatment facility instead of living in luxury in Kentucky? Yeah. And they should have done it in Flint, Michigan. It's not the point. Don't go down this road. Boy, is that a bad road. Boy, is that not the road, huh? Not the road. Well, Putin's friends have big houses because they get government contracts and because it's corrupt and they have big houses. Okay, but the 10 wealthiest counties in America are the ones clustered around D.C. Huh. Why is that? We're different. Okay. I get it. It's a better we like it here better. I like it here better. I don't want to live in Russia. I don't want to live in Gaza. You got me. You got me, intellectual giants who would debate me. You've won. Correct. I do not want to live. In fact, here's how much I don't like those countries. I don't want our military there. And I'm not even in it. I'm not even in the military and I don't want them to go. Isn't that interesting how that works? Just because I don't like it. I don't like it so much, I don't want anyone going. Huh. Getting people to get pumped up about Iran is hilarious. It's like my favorite thing now is that it lies dormant in people, this need for like this enemy and the war and everything. And so apparently after what, we have a few months of overdose deaths being down, now we need to go fight Iran? Like Cheers coming back. One of the people in Cheers is a big pedophile. He's a dark web pedo.
Yeah.
Now, do they address that? Because that's fun. Not that he did it, but the addressing of it.
Let's see. They have to, right? I mean,
I hope they do. It should be every episode. The thing about Cheers, these kids are from some who cares part of Texas, and they're cheerleaders, and they have like 2 years, and they jump around on a mat, and then they go work at Sonic. But for those 2 years, they have really good lives, and everybody respects them, and all the young girls in Texas are like, I want to be like you, you know? And then eventually after the cheering, the mess starts, you know, they start, you know, their boyfriend starts getting, throwing them into walls, and things get real dark real quick. You know, they start doing Kill Tony. But how Cheers Season 2 tackles Jerry Harris's sexual abuse charges. The season's 5th episode offers a timeline of the 21-year-old Navarro College cheer team's members' alleged sexual misconduct with 2 young teens, eventually leading to his arrest. Now, this is Monica, what's her name? Whitney's friends with her. She's a legend in cheerleading, and she's an attractive woman. And I know, like, her son, I think, on Instagram. And she's an attractive woman, and she's a beast of a cheerleading coach. Like, everybody likes her. And it's not her fault, but one of her star cheerleaders was like Ghislaining it all over. In January 2020, nearly 2 years before Harris was accused of child sexual exploitation and abuse in a lawsuit, he was prominently centered in the docuseries' first set of 6 episodes. So he was one of the main characters. So now how do they handle this? Can we, this contains spoilers of season 2 of Cheer. But the season's 5th and middle episode dedicates itself explicitly to these allegations, his arrest, so we're watching that one. Season 2 of Cheer, 5th episode. I'm in. His arrest and the 8 counts of sex crimes involving minors. 8! He's pled not guilty. So what they do is they do a Cheer where they support having sex with people your own age. So they go like, they do the thing on the head. They go, no. They go, little, no. Head, no. Little, head, no. If you're that tall, then breast, tall. I hope that's how they do it. Aldama recounted how she learned of Harris's sexual abuse allegations and the initial federal charge of producing child pornography during September 2020. Harris was federally charged with an additional 7 counts in December 2020. I was on stage at Dancing with the Stars in dress rehearsal for our very first live show. The executive producer came up to me and showed me her phone and asked me if I'd seen the headline in the news that day, she recalled. It was like an out-of-body experience at the time. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I did the show, and then I went back to my trailer. I didn't even want to look at my phone because I was scared. I couldn't do anything about it, and I just didn't want to read it, she added, before revealing that the team had a meeting that night about the news, which she described as being a tear-filled funeral. Towards the end of the episode, the Navarro cheer coach reveals Harris sent her a letter, which she describes as optimistic and features his desire to become a motivational speaker. Wait, what? Towards the end of the episode, hold on. Towards the end of the episode, the Navarro cheer coach reveals that Harris sent her a letter, which she describes as optimistic and features his desire to become a motivational speaker.
So I think that was the end of season 1, was what they're saying.
I don't think so. Towards the end of the episode. We're talking about the episode. What? I believe it's, like, I think he's, wouldn't it be great? I used to fuck kids, but now I realize that I had to invest in myself. You can do anything you want to do. I remember when I was trapped in a prison of negativity, I was fucking kids. But then I realized that I could hustle and grind and figure it out. Wow. It's sad. It's sad for him that he's got this disease. It's sad for the kids. It's sad for Aldama, But here's who it's not sad for. The viewers. We don't want, I hate, it's bad. It's not good. I don't even want to go into this because it's like, it's like stomach churning stuff. He's victimizing children, but
pleading not guilty, but
I'm going to watch that episode because it's the only episode I'm interested in because I don't really care about cheerleading or these people's lives. But seeing them all react to this is kind of interesting, right? I'm not saying I'm happy it happened. I'm clearly not. But as a viewer, to watch them react to this, to me, is interesting. How does a cheer team handle it? How does a Texas cheer team handle it? Here's the real reality. He's a pedophile. Did he take vitamins? Did he take NAD? Did he do NAD drip? Did he do high-dose vitamin C? High-dose vitamin D? Vitamin D cures pedophilia. Vitamin D cures pedophilia. If you take vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, and then ivermectin, you start fucking adults.
It was the 90s. People had a different mentality. Like everything was, you wanted to do well. Bill Murray went on there and just did what Bill Murray used to do, which was this. Bill Murray's tone was never heard before he did it in 1978. Nobody ever saw this tone in comedy. Just like Richard Belzer. Richard Belzer's stand-up was not that great, but he invented, okay, babe, sure. Nobody did that before Richard Belzer. I never saw it. And then people in the streets were doing it, not just comedians. And Bill Murray used to go like, now listen to me, guy. And he had this ironic, weird thing. He did these characters like this movie review. It was just a whole different tone than you'd ever seen in comedy or in life.
How many people have you seen do that? Like where they're completely unique?
I can't think of that many. I mean, those are. I mean, I would say Bill Murray changed. Like everybody was funny in different ways, and they were all unique on Saturday Night Live to a degree. But Bill Murray, I'll tell you another one I haven't seen, even though it's based on something real. But it's that guy Tom on Succession.
Right.
That's unique.
Yeah.
Tone that you don't see.
The English actor McFadden. Yeah. He's brilliant.
He's doing this crazy guy.
Right. That's like, it's completely, you've never seen a character quite like that.
But Bill Murray did like 5 characters on SNL at that time. He did the ship, like that cruise. Like, people always make fun of like the lounge singer, the oily lounge singer.
Right.
Nobody did that before him.
Right.
Nobody did it with that tone the way he used to do it.
And I feel like Norm had that space too.
Yes.
Where nobody.
Perfect example.
Right.
Norm's tone was distinctive and unique. Yes.
And nobody did that.
Nobody did what Norm did. You know what I mean? I talk about Norm in the show too. It's funny, and one of the things is Norm would talk people, like we'd talk to some strange waiter, small talking people, and he'd be like, and then the guy'd be like, you're right, I'm quitting a job. And he'd walk out, and then Norm would go to me, I didn't tell him to quit that job. Like, yes, you did. But Norm's whole world was not just, he was making fun of you. You were part of this, the suckers too.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I mean, you're telling me, he would just bring you in.
There's that brilliant podcast he had with Adam Egan.
Yes.
Where it's just, yeah.
Well, I went to Norm's, his memorial service,
Yeah.
and Adam Egan spoke, and he killed. It was all these professional comedians.
Yeah.
Adam Egan went up and he goes, I love Norm Macdonald, even though if you Google me today, it says Holocaust denier. Adam Egan has the first thing. And he went on about Norm, but it was, him with Adam Egan was perfect. Because the guest didn't know that, like half the guests Norm would go, I mean, I agree with you. Not like this guy thinks that the Holocaust didn't happen. And the guests would be, you could see their angry eyes, like, what? And Adam would just sit there and take it. And the guests would leave the show thinking this guy's a Holocaust denier.
Yeah, there was nothing funnier than when Norm was like, this guy fucking didn't think the Holocaust happened.
So fun. And just blow past it, and the guests would look. You could see them looking angrily.
And then Norm would move on, which is another brilliant part of the bit. Norm would just keep going, and then the guys would just sneak a look at Adam like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah.
And it was and Adam, to his credit, didn't. He sometimes just try to deny it. Usually, he'd just take the hit, and that person the rest of their life.
That's so funny.
You've not
got in on cryptos. You've ridiculed cryptos. You've stood on the sidelines with the institutional investors in your Hamptons home. You've stood there with a lot of the large banks. This is something that has surprised many of us. You, instead of embracing the crypto revolution, you didn't really embrace a lot of the Wall Street bet stuff. You stood with your blue bloods in Newport, Rhode Island, in Greenwich, Connecticut, in the Hamptons. Now, and I'm asking you a question now. You constantly are just defending the old guard.
Right,
you are
a
clear. Legacy, and I get it. But can you speak on this? Can you speak on your resistance?
Let's get something clear. I lost blood in Wall Street's bets.
How much did you lose?
$250 about.
$250?
Yeah, I got out. But I got in, I got out because it's like, it's like you guys. I have hope. I'm the rare cynic who can have hope.
Yes.
I watch a Marvel movie and I cry.
Yeah.
And I lose some money on Wall Street.
Yeah, because you're crying because you're being tased. You're watching it through the window of someone else's home, and the security approaches.
Well, I don't have cable.
Yeah.
So, look, everything looks great now. And I look like a big idiot. And look, I don't personally care because I'm not the guy, regardless of whether I think it's good or not. Like, I don't think Tesla is a scam.
Did you see the Bill Maher piece on it?
I did see it. His reasoning was a little just old man yelling at the sun kind of thing.
Yes.
But it wasn't totally,
He wasn't totally wrong. He's like, Ethereum has more market cap than Disney, and it has no you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
But it's just he's such a horrible conduit of information. He's such a hateable person.
Every time I talk about this, I am every comment section of me and I'm the big fat moron who doesn't understand. I'm making 10-year-old arguments. Let's get something clear. The arguments were never addressed because they can't be addressed.
Right.
This is not. Well, how
I'll address them right now. I'll address them right now. Make one of your arguments against crypto. I'm going to address it right now. In who I am now with my Ray-Bans and my Miami hat.
Okay,
make an argument, I'll address it.
Here's one. Here's a new one I have.
Yeah.
Maybe other people have it. So we have at least 4 cryptos that are really capped up, right? 5, 6, a ton, a bunch. Or are they all going to be currency?
How about you go fuck your mother?
But are they all going to be?
Now ask me, is it a good idea to let people that are buying houses defer interest?
It's a good idea to allow people who are buying houses to defer interest.
Go fuck your mother. See, that's the response that stops people like you in your tracks. Because you come, we're having a party.
Right.
This is the thing about a party. People are trying to ruin a party. This is a party. During a high school party, when you're fingering your friends, and if you're like me, you're hugging your friends because they won't fuck you, whatever. If you're in the middle of a high school party and people are drunk and it's senior year, nobody comes up to you and goes, do you think we'll all be as close when we're in college? And that's what you're doing. You're coming up to people at a party and going, what's tomorrow at 3 p.m. going to be like? And you're like, dude, I don't know, but it's fucking 1 a.m. now and it's lit. So my argument is that shit is lit. No, they're not all going to be currencies. Bitcoin is the reserve currency. And all of the other currencies are going to be little fun things that people can enjoy and possess and find whatever value they find in them.
Okay, but that's inherently an argument against them.
No.
I mean, it's
No.
fine. It's like, oh, it's a troll doll. Cool. It's a digital troll doll.
What
It's a
it
digital
is
fur- what's
an
the Beanie Babies?
opportunity for people to believe again.
It's a Beanie
We
Baby.
need a Bitcoin movie where they give a Field of Dreams speech. Someone needs to get up and go, like, you know the scene in Tommy Boy where they're talking to the workers that have all been, and they're like, and this town, this factory, I remember. We need a speech where a guy's like, this is giving people a chance to believe again. People that were rioting not 2 months ago, people that were smashing the windows of the Capitol. They were marching in Charlottesville. This is giving them a new thing to talk about. It's better than that. Isn't it better than wearing Viking horns? Yes or yes? I'm not saying Bitcoin's all alt-right people. Stop it. Because I know that's the fucking New York Times angle that all these crypto shits are. But it is anti-establishment people. And it should be.
Yeah, anti-establishment people who are actually doing quite well in the system to begin with a lot of the time.
Dave Portnoy is a struggling farmer. So is Elon Musk. So stop this argument that this is incredibly wealthy people duping people that spend all day looking at their computer. These are good men who are struggling.
Look, I mean, I hear you. I don't know that the American psyche, what it needs most right now is hope. I think
Fair point.
Hope is kind of the antecedent or whatever to self-reflection. I think we need a little more self-reflection, a little less hope. But that being said, I'm all for Doge. I'm Doge up.
We need a little party. We need a party, and we're having a party. And I think
we haven't worked hard. Wait, where is this hard work that we're paying off that we're like celebrating?
Parties never are the result of hard work.
That's a good point.
Good parties.
Hard workers don't party.
Good parties are actually better when the people there haven't worked at all.
Right.
The work is the party. Do you understand? They're putting all the work into the party. Partying is a job for people. We go out with this guy last night after the show. We're eating croquettes at 2 a.m. He goes, tomorrow night, you want to go out? You want to get into something? What circles you guys want to get into? I'm like, this guy's married. I'm sober. I'm exhausted. I just did 2 shows. There is no partying. I'm 36. What am I going to do? I don't want to stand in a room full of people and hear their shit anymore. I'm done. I'm just done. I was 23. I went to parties. Were they sad? Sure. Were they Christmas parties at mortgage companies? Yes. Was I drinking with people twice my age? Yes. Was I getting laid? No. Was I fucking, living the life of a 45-year-old divorced man when I was 22? Sure. But whatever I was supposed to be doing, it didn't happen. I went to the city and danced a few times at clubs. I get it. But I'm 36. Enough's enough already. We got to move the fuck on. What I'd like now is a little cryptocurrency and just some quiet.
Easter, to me, there's no real boozing on Easter. It's Sunday afternoon. You go to church.
Easter stinks.
It stinks, but that's the classiest.
I'll tell you right now, here's how we can ruin that. Horseshoes. My family, during Easter at my Aunt C's house,
shit,
God rest her soul. This is why I have the top-rated episode.
You do, which just passed 1 million, by the way.
I know Shane and Segura are climbing on me. I know it. But I'll tell you this. My Aunt C, God rest her soul, and her husband, Uncle Bill, was a cop. Was that shooting justified? Hey. Now,
why are you bringing up old shit, Tim?
Yeah. Split-second decisions. No, they were good people.
It was a different time.
Yeah, they were good people, and they had Easter Sunday, and my family would drink and then throw horseshoes. Jesus. And so there would be kids running around, and then you'd have a metal horseshoe whizzing by your head. Yeah. And you'd be in your church, and then somebody would scream at you, be like, "Get off that away!"
Yeah.
And just sling
throwing metal through the air.
But I agree with you. In theory, there's nothing classier than Easter.
Yes.
Yeah, but it sucks. And I always thought in horseshoes that I wasn't good at it because I didn't have a cigarette hanging out of my mouth.
Well,
that's what I
true.
thought. That's what I thought made the uncles that good.
It was a Heine. You had to have a Heineken.
Sure.
And a cig hanging out of the mouth.
In the throw, you had to have that.
You had to have it. And they played horseshoes during Easter Sunday. And then Easter Saturday, my nanny would do a pink ham and she'd
Sure.
with a mustard vinegar glaze,
Okay.
which was real nice. And then she would do, the sides and stuff.
Yeah, when those honey baked started getting
That changed
popular,
the game.
That's
dude.
a big deal.
that was like, we're going to get the honey baked, the spiral cut.
Yeah.
Woo, cheese potatoes.
Little cinnamon apples.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. But I'll tell you why Easter can kick rocks. One, pastels. Get the fuck out of here.
Interesting.
I hate that shit.
Interesting. H. Foley coming out against pastels.
Yeah, he
dude.
takes the hard takes, that
Yeah.
H. Foley.
Early on in the episode.
Church is nice on
Church stinks.
on Christmas. No, but I'm just saying, you have something
agree.
nice on. It's the winter. You're not going inside. You're hanging out in the back. You're goofing around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You maybe got a couple of M&Ms or some Hershey
It's not as
Kisses in your
proper, it
pocket.
feels, yeah.
Dude, fucking Easter, you feel like you're a used car salesman. I'm walking around in a pink blazer like a dickhead. Get out of here with that.
I will tell you one thing about Easter. There's what the Easter cigarette outside of the church.
Oh, it's nice. Grass is coming in.
There's a little bit of a breeze,
A little
sunlight.
bit of a breeze.
I'll give
You're
you that.
still sweating.
Yeah.
You're
Man.
still sweating, but the sweat's being cooled by the breeze.
Yeah.
And you're having a ciggy outside the church. And the priest, they're all looking at you. Go, I know what I'm doing, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm on the property.
I'm here.
I'm on the property.
They were always waiting to rip a heater.
That's
Remember
right.
the first time you saw a priest ripping a dart behind the rectory? Holy shit.
He's like, I got to have something.
Yeah.
You know? So Easter, I think you're right about that. Easter does
The candy's whack too.
It presents as the classic.
I don't like the candy, and I don't like, the Easter egg hunt, the basket. Hey. What are we working for here?
I know
There's
you
a-
got to give it to me.
There was only one that had a 5 in it.
My aunt used to hide these baskets so aggressively that people would start crying. Me and my cousins would start crying.
There was no baskets.
She would hide them in places. My grandfather did well, and he built his own house in Muttontown, Long Island, which is an area where Jennifer Lopez lived.
Muttontown doesn't sound nice.
Muttontown's no,
It
it's
sounds like it's
amazing.
behind a butcher shop.
No, I know, but it's one of those things rich people do,
Sure.
where they're like you'd think it's not, but it's stunning. And he had a 5,000 square foot house, which to us was huge.
A big house.
But here's the problem when you hide baskets: kids start crying because you look in a few places and people start getting upset now. And my aunt really liked that because she was sick.
Yeah, demented, yeah.
She didn't have children herself, and when people would start to cry, and she would just go, look harder, work harder, and we'd run up and down the stairs, and then we'd eventually find it. And then what was the treat? Nothing,
Yeah.
a couple of pastel. You get a nice Reese's Reese's what is it?
Bunny or whatever.
Easter
Those,
egg,
those
yeah.
were art. The Peeps
A
can,
Reese's egg. Yeah.
Peeps can kick fucking rocks. Dude.
Reese's egg, the Cadbury. I do like a Cadbury cream McFlurry.
Love a Cadbury
in
cream
London.
egg. Love them.
A Cadbury cream McFlurry in London is nice.
Holy shit.
They're
really?
doing that over there?
Welcome to the world.
Oh,
Welcome to global.
I got to get a passport.
that's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. And
The candy didn't catch up until recently. When we were kids, it was the shitty low off-brand chocolate bunnies
Like
that were hollow.
The
And-
wax.
and
It was
it
like
was all
waxy
wax.
chocolate.
and
yeah.
it was chemical taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucked.
You had a chemical taste.
And
Not
plus,
good.
I remember
Was it a
getting
Russell Stover? What kind of bunny did you get?
Russell Stover. I'd be all right with.
Russell Stover was the one that was kind of mid-grade.
Yes.
Mid-grade, respectable. Your father still has a job.
Sure.
Yeah.
You got a Russell Stover.
You got
Yeah.
a bonus that year.
Lint is a little next level.
Lint. Who was
Lint.
getting lint?
That's I didn't have that.
I
Till, I,
wasn't
didn't
get-
have that till 32.
yeah.
A
Lint-
touch of sea salt.
Sea salt on
Forget
chocolate?
about it.
The Lint bunny is a nice bunny.
Whoa.
The Lint bunny is a good bunny.
I remember one year getting a solid white chocolate crucifix. And I was like, can I?
See if you can even find that.
Can I?
I would
eat
love
this?
to see a solid white chocolate.
I was like, can I eat this? Crazy.
That was definitely something they gave out for the Ku Klux Klan. By the way, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
you
dude.
can get a white chocolate crucifix.
How do you feel about the white chocolate? Tim?
Oh, sucks.
I'm a fan.
Here's what I like.
I love it.
I like it in ice cream. My favorite flavor in Haagen-Dazs is a white chocolate raspberry truffle ice cream.
That's good.
When Godiva had their ice creams, and they were only around for a few years, in the glory days of the late 90s, the early aughts, the early 2000s, they had a white chocolate raspberry ice cream. White chocolate raspberry in ice cream might be one of the greatest flavor combinations.
It's good.
But as an actual candy, I don't like it.
The only one that kind of hangs in there is the Hershey's cookies and cream.
Of course.
That's a little
That's okay.
different, though.
Yes,
Yeah. It was
agreed.
so classy to me. It was
Yeah.
so like you get it once a year when it comes. I love it. I think looking back, I don't know if I love the taste, but I love the idea.
There's
of
a
it.
pageantry to Easter, the flowers, the church
Sure.
and stuff. It is in theory classy, so we put that at number one. We're ignoring, by the way, Islamic and Jewish holidays here, not because we're not inclusive, but I don't have any experience. Do you, gentlemen?
No, I do not.
We don't have any experience with
I stay on this path.
What would you say to, what do you think about all this shit where people are like, we don't want our kids playing football anymore? Weigh in. Let's get a
Weigh in.
clip. Let's get a viral clip.
Listen, man, I think with football, it's
Here's Brendan Schaub
On football.
the football controversy
Well, it's
right
like-
here, right now.
Do you watch
on the
football?
Tim Dillon Show?
last night. Miles Garrett took a quarterback's helmet off and hit him with it.
Okay.
and they suspended him for the season.
That's too much, I think.
Way too much.
Way too much. Take him out for a game.
Yes, it's the culture we live in where everything's like this. Cancel
But in fairness
culture.
to him, he should have hit a woman. Keep going.
If you're gonna do it, hit a woman.
If you're going to do it, hit your partner, and
Hit
you'll
your
be
partner.
back in next game.
or the UFC assign you.
Transgender children playing football.
Sure, like Icebox from
Where
Little
are you
Giants.
on this?
Fuck it, put 'em in.
This is a huge problem now. You have women identifying as men. No, you have men identifying as women, and then they beat up women. That's
weird.
not
when
good,
it comes
right?
to when it comes to mixed martial arts. That's weird.
That's strange.
But that's the only part where it's strange.
Really? What about cycling? What about, men have all these advantages, and then they take hormones, then they become women, and then they dominate in those sports. Is that fair? You don't care.
I don't care.
So you're breaking with Rogan and Hinchcliffe on this. Brendan Schaub for trans athletes. Interesting. Okay.
If it's MMA, if it's wrestling, that's a little dicey.
It's a little dicey.
But if it's cycling, don't care.
Now, most people know this about you. You were a huge supporter, and you funded Donald Trump's campaign last
Correct.
time. You spent millions and millions of dollars.
That's where all my money goes.
And what do you think about Donald Trump? Trump as the president of the United States.
Two-term Trump. I think
We all feel the same way about him. We think he's funny. He probably shouldn't be the president. That's literally the way we feel.
he's a celebrity who probably shouldn't be the president.
Probably shouldn't be the president.
But I think the majority
But he's
of
very
Americans,
funny.
he's very funny, hilarious. I think majority of Americans are sick of politicians.
And we're just
he
trying
was
to-
like
We're trying to burn it down.
it could have been anybody.
We're burning the system down. They could absolutely win. I'm making Logan Paul president. We've talked about it a bunch on the show. I'm not going to talk about it again.
I'm down for that.
But it will happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
His brother being in the house is
We're
a
going
little.
to keep his brother at bay a little bit. We're going to
His
work
brother
more
needs
with
to be
Logan.
less of a
I
fu-
like Jake. We got to
I like
work with
Jake.
Logan.
We got to tone it down a
We got
tad.
to tone it down a bit. We're going to work with Logan.
gotta-
We'll find Jake will do agriculture. We'll put him
We
somewhere.
gotta tone it
We're going
down.
to work with Logan first. When you hear politicians going, millionaires are the problem, rich people are the problem, you're somebody who has a lot of money.
Yes.
What do you feel like when you hear that, when you hear Bernie Sanders or people like that? Now, they're not necessarily talking about you. They're talking about the billionaire class.
You're talking about the 0.001%.
Right,
but
you're-
it doesn't make
you're
sense.
a wealthy person, and they,
I'm not
they would come,
0.001.
but they would
They would
come
come
with
after
the
me.
pitchforks for you.
Yeah, it's bullshit because I work for this.
The people that are just angry at rich people, how do you think maybe they're misguided? Because some of them have a point.
Some have a point. The
because
people,
they don't
these
have health
families,
insurance
and
stuff. Yeah, that
agree.
have had billions of dollars forever.
But for people who are self-made entrepreneurs, you shouldn't touch them. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's the American dream, right?
Right.
What are you doing?
I know. Immigration. More, less, even.
How
Now,
dare
your
you?
girlfriend is Mexican.
Born and raised
Is she
illegally.
real interesting. Now, do you ever threaten her with a little call to the authorities if she gets wise?
Every Thursday. Thing
Is
is
she
like,
Americanized? Can she read and write and everything?
kind of.
Okay.
English, tough.
A little bit,
Yeah.
right. She's in and out. She's probably smoking.
She's cool.
Very attractive. Okay,
Very good.
right.
Yeah. Good mother.
Good mother. right.
Mexican dude.
Yeah, of course.
Good
Very
food.
nurturing, warm.
Yes.
Does she make a pandelere? What's that cake there? Pan?
Sopa. Dama sopa.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Does she kill it with the enchiladas?
She kills with enchiladas. Then they.
Does she order the Mexican maid around? And is that interesting dynamic?
Ooh, here's the
Right, because she
here's the
feels-
interesting dynamic
The
is
Mexican maids are like, yeah, I know you think you're a white bitch. You ain't a white bitch.
yeah, she's like, bitch, we know where you come from,
Right.
Guadalajara.
How do you feel about society when you look at what's happening on social media and YouTube and things like that, does it make you feel confident in where society's going?
I think it's going to balance out. I think now we're like just realizing how addictive social media is, how it's like this bullying thing with young kids and kids committing suicide. There's like this cancel culture and this hate culture on there. And it's a good thing, but it's also super negative. And I think it's going to sway back over here. And now you see how Instagram is, you can't see likes anymore.
Instagram,
you
I
can't
feel
see
like, it's on its way out.
Oh, you think so?
Well, this is what they did with Facebook. They started playing around with it, and then it just became like a haven for boomers to scream at each other. Well, it's also like how hot do any of these things stay forever? Young kids are on TikTok now, right?
I don't know what TikTok is.
TikTok's that
Are you
thing-
on there?
No, I should be. You know TikTok. It's that thing where people are dancing, they're falling down, they're doing crazy things, 15-second
10
looping
seconds?
videos. They have all those TikTok cringe
It's like
compilations.
Boomerang?
Yeah, it's like Boomer. It's like a 15-second, like a Vine, but longer. And it's all those cringe
But
compilations.
like
of people
our
doing
fan base
crazy
isn't
things.
there.
No, they can't buy tickets. You're right. But I'm just saying when you look at, like, at one point,
There's always going to be something. But
There's gotta be a new
Facebook's
thing.
around. Twitter's around, right?
Twitter's
They've been
still around.
for a while.
Twitter was going away, but then Trump energized it and it became political. I like Twitter a lot because you can put things out, people can share them relatively easily.
Yeah, I think what we're going to learn is social media, and you're given these dark demons a voice where it gives them credibility to hate on successful people or hate on talented people, and also bully kids. So I think it's going to even out. We're like, oh shit, this isn't giving everybody a voice and giving them an opinion. It's not good.
So Brendan Schaub here on the Tim Dillon Show for taking away the internet from people. We should get rid of it.
Only losers.
So not everyone should be able to communicate on social media.
They shouldn't be able to.
I agree with
They
you,
shouldn't
by
be able
the
to
way.
communicate to certain people. You know.
The problem is
The access is to it. We've got rid of that fourth wall. We don't.
I know.
When we're talking about walls, build that wall.
build that wall on social media.
Build that wall to the people in their dad's basements. To me,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. I think here's what's scary and what you find out on social media. I think a lot of people are in basements. Like
Yes.
a lot of people are in their dad's basement. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of mental illness.
100%.
And-
But there's also it's their own mental illness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and it comes out, and I think researchers find like, oh, this isn't good, man.
It's not good. What do you tell those people that want to change their life? What should they do? Let's say somebody's watching this and they used to hate you.
Stop watching this.
Stop watching this. A great point. Stop watching this. Except give it 5. We need 5 minutes for the download.
Yeah, for sure.